There's a couple billion people in the world, and a million other places we could be, but you're here with me. Take a moment just to take it in. There's every high and every low led to this. I'm just so glad you exist.
Well, I haven't done this in a while. I think the dark circles speak for themselves, really, don't they? Hi. It's been a bit of a bloody while, hasn't it? Yeah, I just thought I'd come on and highlight the stresses of IVF, because I don't think people realise how much stress actually goes into it. But don't get me wrong, I knew it was going to be stressful. I've completely broken out from this stress, ain't even gonna lie. I knew it was going to be stressful, but fucking hell, I ain't even started. Not officially. Yeah. People just do not talk about how difficult it is to get into IVF when you happen to have chronic illnesses. So maybe it's because people with chronic illnesses don't do it. I can't believe that, like, not for a second, because, you know, just because you happen to be sick does not mean that you shouldn't be able to live your life. And you know what? If you want children, fucking go for it. Just go for it. Like, come on. And I know that everyone has their opinions on genetic conditions, etc., etc. We won't get into that because today ain't the day and I ain't the one. But, yeah. Oh, I found a video I did when I first made the decision, like, officially made the decision, when my near on 7-year relationship ended, to start IVF, and I decided to go for it as a single mum, or an independent parent, as they call it. Yeah, and it's funny because I'd predicted that they'd have a problem with medical devices. I'm just nervous that fertility clinics and stuff are going to be like, well, you know, you have medical devices and stuff, we're not helping you. I don't know if they could do that. Like, I don't know, it's a whole learning curve. If you're new here, firstly, welcome to the shit show that is my life. A just tricky journey, or whatever you want to call it. I blame my granddad. I straight up blame my granddad. If you're watching this, Dad, thank you, because he nicknamed me Tricky, and you know what? I've lived up to it since. But yeah, anyway, I'm Vicky, also known as Vic, or just Tricky, whatever you want to call me. I haven't been doing this for a while, but hi. Yeah, I happen to have a suprapubic catheter called Flo and a loop ileostomy called Skid and Bruno, because, you know, we don't talk about Bruno, and Skid, you know, skid marks. Yeah, so I just happen to have 2 medical devices. Now, they've been completely life-changing, honestly. I don't regret them. I can't, like, at the end of the day, like, if you're being 100% honest with yourself, if you need a medical device, you don't have a choice. Like, it's not something that you're like, oh yeah, if I get a new pair of shoes, I'll have that, you know, oh, I'll try that out. No, it's not like that. You generally don't have a choice. Normally it's, well, let's be honest, every single time it's because you need it. In whatever form your medical device is, you need it. Now, what I do regret is being naive at the fact that just because I accept my medical device doesn't necessarily mean that other human beings do. Unfortunately, not a lot of human beings have empathy built into them. I've learnt that a lot in the last year. And I also wish I wasn't so naive in the fact that I thought, because I was paying privately, because I'm not doing private, I genuinely thought that healthcare would have been different. Now, my quote for IVF is about $8,000. Yeah. No, I'm not joking. And that is one of the cheaper quotes, so I'll be 100% honest with you. Pretty tired, ignore me. yeah. So I thought, because I'd be paying this insane amount of money, you know, I'd be treated at least with a bit of respect. No, unfortunately, it's the same. It is completely the same, I'll be honest with you, in the sense of chronic illnesses are still looked down upon, and the lack of understanding, information, and empathy towards them are exactly the same. It's not fun. So with that in mind, what's happening with me is I ended up having, because I apparently attract them, clearly I haven't paid enough of my karmic debt through shitty Susan, and therefore continue to get the shit constantly, literally and constantly. So yeah, I got a lovely lady who was not very lovely and discriminated, pretty much. I don't think there's any other word, against my abilities to be a parent, not due to the chronic illness, due to autism was her main thing, which, wow, is all I've got to say to that. Fucking wow. Yeah, no. From that, after a while, when I realised, you know, this is not serving me, and I did learn my lesson with Susan, and I should have walked out the day I met Susan and asked for a different consultant, and I didn't, and I went through years of abuse and fucking traumatic events that have definitely affected my life, my mental health, and the way I view healthcare. Not to mention other things, like it generally does affect me. Yeah, so when she did not accept the GP letter who had said, yeah, Vic is stable, it's all a go, I messaged the clinic and said, look, if I don't change consultant, I will be leaving the clinic. It's that simple, because I don't feel safe with this woman. I don't feel secure. I don't feel listened to, and I don't feel understood. And I definitely do not want to feel like fucking shit while creating my child, considering most people get to have a good old woohoo and a bit of fun. I've got to have needles shoved in my fucking badge, amongst 101 other things. Yeah, no. The thing I need is a nice, secure doctor who don't make me feel like shit while I'm paying them £8,000 to do it. So yeah, they listened to that eventually. I say eventually because it was definitely not that quick. And I did remind them, you know, I am trusting them to help create my child. I am paying them a considerable amount of money to do it as well. A little bit of empathy and communication would not go amiss. And eventually they got the gist, and I did switch consultant. However, concerns had been raised regarding autism. So I had to fit this massive criteria. Like, I had to get letters from my stoma nurse, my tube change nurses, which are nurse specialists. They are specialist nurses. They're not normal nurses. I say normal like that because nurses will understand what I mean. Keep that in mind for in a minute. So yeah, I got them letters. I got a letter from the GP. Honestly, I swear, I don't have any luck, because this consultant wants a letter from the GP to say if I got a headache, I can ring the GP surgery and ask for an appointment. Yeah, my face pulled the same face as you. Batshit crazy, right? So the craziness continues. I got all 3 of those letters, all from medical professionals, bearing in mind the GP had already done one before, so that is now a total of 4 letters. I got an email today stating that the consultant weren't sure because the urology letter was from a nurse. Because, you know, nurses don't actually go to school, guys. They don't go to school. They just turn up. Fuck me. Do you know how long it takes to be a specialist nurse? Anyway, bearing in mind, I don't have a neurosurgeon. You don't as you all know, you don't keep in contact with your surgeons. You don't become pen pals. They do the op, you fuck off, you continue with your life. It's that simple. And Flo was done, I do believe it's 4 years this August. So, you know, yeah, I also don't live where I used to live. So, I don't think I'll be able to contact them somehow. Anyway, so yeah, they've now got a meeting next week, next Tuesday, Valentine's Day. If you know me, I fucking hate Valentine's Day. I don't have much luck with love. So, I'm going to take that as a sign. But, you know, positive thinking and all that. No, seriously, we do some positive thinking. But, yeah, so next week, I should find out if I have the green light or if they're going to dick me around some more. But, yeah, for anyone wondering, the process of IVF is difficult no matter who you are. Like, it is very difficult, whether you're doing it on your own or you're doing it with a partner. It's emotional. It's a major roller coaster. I've been through a lot medically. If you've followed me, not even just from the beginning, if you've followed me in the last year, fuck me, I've been through a lot medically. I've been through a lot point blank, but IVF is hard. Like, it is hard, and the stress levels already have been insane. But going into IVF when you happen to have a medical device is stressful. So, for the people out there who are interested in it, thinking about it, whether you're with a partner or by yourself, yeah, so take it from me. Get them letters beforehand so you don't have to worry about it, you know. If they don't need it, put it in your file, because you never know who's going to need it, you know. Just get those letters. It's literally just to say that you're okay and that you're stable enough, and if your clinic's anything like mine, they want the NHS to have a crystal ball and see into the future and become Mystic fucking Meg. But yeah, just get the letters beforehand. Honestly, don't let it like make you not want to do it. If it's something you want, you fucking fight for it. Like, fight for it, no matter what it is, whether you're wanting to go to school or uni and, you know, you're not sure how you get on with medical devices and stuff. Do you know what? Life is so short. Please do some living amongst this surviving, because we deserve it. Yeah, that's kind of my IVF update for right now. Fixing a shit show as always. I'm stressed. I felt the need to rant. I actually feel a tiny bit better from ranting, and I haven't done this in a while. So, you know, the fact it's made me feel a bit better is nice. Like, it's comforting. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to make some food because I'm actually starving. I guess these will be added into my vlog of some sort, because, you know, it's part of it. But for anyone out there, keep going. Like, you know, the discrimination can only last so long. Yeah. Like, discrimination, just see it as this. Rejection is redirection. And you're worth a lot more than you think. And for anyone in the IVF journey, I wish you luck. Hi guys, I just thought I'd do an update, because I keep getting messages asking if I got bad news, and to be fair, I got no news. So I don't know what's worse at this point, no news or bad news. Yeah, so I'll explain. It's probably going to be pretty long. I'm probably going to cry. I apologise in advance. So pretty much I was meant to find out if I got the green light for IVF yesterday. And if I didn't find out yesterday, I was meant to find out this morning. That did not happen. I sent emails to my patient coordinator and they were ignored. I think it got to about 2 p.m. today and I was like, no, that's enough. Like, you know, it's one thing if I wasn't paying for this, but I'm paying $8,000 plus, you know, again, a little bit of communication and empathy would not go amiss. So I decided to ring. I got a lovely lady answer the phone, who chased my patient coordinator, who did not answer, who then chased the manager, and I made it very clear that, you know, I'm not happy. I realised I've been doing this for 8 months, and yeah, that's not normal. 8 months is not normal before you've even started, like, IVF medications and stuff like that, and all you've had is one baseline. So yeah, after talking to her for a bit, I asked what my options were, like if I transferred from Create Fertility Birmingham to one of the other Create things. I have to stay with Create, they offer a loan thing before someone else tells me all these different clinics. Of course I've looked, you know, like you don't start this process without knowing what your options are. For me, I need the loan aspect. I don't have £8,000 to shit right now. I don't even think I can afford an Asda Smart Price fucking pot noodle, let alone, you know, £8,000 to just go here, have fun. You know, some people don't have that money, and that's okay. That does not mean that you're not meant to be a parent. Can I say that? Because I've had people like be like, you know, if you can't afford the process, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. No, you guys get to have fun in the sheets. The rest of us have to unfortunately pay £8,000 to even be able to have the opportunity to hold our child. We ain't the same. We ain't the same. So respectfully, if you're not in the criteria of someone that needs to pay this, your opinion is not valid. And again, if you are in the criteria of people that do have to pay for it, empathy. You know, again, not everyone is rich. Not everyone can afford to jump from clinic to clinic to clinic. Not everyone has the mental capacity to do so either. So that aside, I asked if I'd have to redo the process, like how would that work? She went over that with me. And I said, well, I'll wait to find out what happens, and then I'll obviously have to take that into account. And while I'm here, can I also have the complaints number? Because, you know, 8 months is a long time, and I have been made to feel like utter shit the entire fucking time. Once again, I just don't think medical professionals like me. Yeah, it's very hard, like, in them situations to take it away from the fact that it's not that they don't like you. Some people just play God, and it's actually nothing to do with you. It's to do with discrimination and other stuff. It's not you as a person. It's unfortunately just a situation, and how there's a lack of awareness and a lack of education, even in the medical field itself. After I got off the phone with her, I got an email from my patient coordinator. Magically, she reappeared, and she pretty much told me that she wouldn't be my patient coordinator anymore, and that she was really sorry, and pretty much that they had blamed her. It wasn't this woman's fault at all. I don't think she had a lot of empathy for me as a person, and I guess she has loads of patience, and, you know, my case, as always, is tricky. So who wants that, right? Let's be honest. But anyway, so she's not my patient coordinator anymore, and she told me that the manager of the patient coordinators would be ringing me to kind of go over what was happening. So, God, I don't even think it was a minute after I had read that email, I got a call, and it was the manager, and she was very sweet, and she had said that my doctor, or my consultant, would be letting her know what else I needed, and she'll get back to me. And I think that's when I kind of, like, lost it, in the sense of I just made it known, you know, this is not that I'm angry, I'm actually sad. Like, it is actually painful. Like, it's painful to have to do this, you know. It's painful to have to go through IVF point blank. Doing it on your own, when you had this vision of your life, especially when it's with a specific person that's just not here anymore, like, that is hard. Like, it's a very, 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 very painful, and it's something that should be given empathy 110%, you know. Like, this is not easy. Like, it's not easy at all. It's not easy mentally to get your head around. IVF is not easy. I don't think people realise. No one puts themselves through this unless they need it. It's that simple. So anyway, I obviously got upset, and I did explain to her, look, it's not that I'm angry at you. I'm just exhausted. Like, I am so exhausted in having to fight for absolutely everything. And with the discrimination towards autism, you know, when you've been fighting all of your life to accept a part of you that is a major part of you, and someone just comes along and makes you feel like shit for no reason. That's not easy. Like, it's not easy. It brings up past trauma amongst other things, you know. And I'm more than capable of being a mum. I know I am. Hell, I'm fighting for my kid, and that they don't even exist. You know, they don't even exist. So yeah, yeah. So I said, like, you know, the NHS have been brilliant. They've written all the letters that you need. You have had 5 letters: gynae, urology, stoma nurses, 2 from the GP. 5 letters. What more could I possibly give? You know, like, there's nothing more they can write unless you want the same letter over and over again. Like, this is just discrimination now, and it is painful to live through. Like, it is actually painful. Like, there's no reasoning for it. It's just 8-month turnover for a patient. That's not normal. Definitely not in the private sector. Maybe in the NHS, but in the private sector, I don't think that's normal at all. I also said the fact that, you know, I chose this clinic. I trusted them. I am trusting them to help create my child, to help create a life. It's not a pair of shoes. It's a fucking human. Like, it's a human fucking being. And my future children, if I freeze embryos, which in my plan, you know, that is part of the plan, to freeze embryos. So, yeah. Like, it's a massive thing. It's not cheap. I'm paying over $8,000, and I keep stating that because if it was free, you know, it still wouldn't be okay. But, like, I'm paying my money. Like, it's a lot of money. It's worth it. I don't begrudge it whatsoever. But at the same time, like, I deserve some respect, you know, and I deserve some empathy and communication. So yeah, I obviously had a bit of a cry and said that all I want is my kid, because trust me, that is all I want. Yeah, and bless her, she was pretty emotional as well, and she said, like, I don't want any of my patients feeling like this beforehand, like, this is not okay. And I did stress the fact that, you know, they want you to reduce your stress during IVF. It is a big factor. And they've caused me nothing but hell. And I mean, the last 2 days I've had, like, severe chest pain just waiting for this bit to come, because I knew it was going to go, like, tits up. I mean, I don't even know the outcome yet, to be honest. But still, I just know. I've been here too many times to not know. Yeah, she said that my consultant just happened to be with a patient at that minute, but it wasn't okay, and that she wasn't going to leave it like this, and that she would grab him as soon as he came out of the room with the patient, and that if she didn't contact me tonight, which is now gone 6, so I doubt very much she'll contact me tonight, she was going to ring me first thing in the morning, so I guess I'll find out first thing in the morning. Can I just say, like, I appreciate the support. I know my page is very quiet now, and I get it, like, I don't post, so I'm not expecting the support that I used to get, and I'm definitely not going anywhere near it. However, like, hounding someone for this sort of information, any information for that matter, like, is not helpful. Messaging me saying, like, it's not a game. This is generally my life. This is my future kid, hopefully. You know, it's big. It's not a little thing. It's not, like I said, a new pair of shoes. It's a child. It's a massive thing. I want to be on him more, but at the same time, I do feel the pressure. And, you know, I in the past, I burnt myself out so much for this page, and I don't regret any of it, because it definitely kept me going throughout it, and I will be documenting this whole process, and there are videos ready to go up and stuff like that, but I don't need to be hounded. Like, you know, the support, please do, because I feel so alone. But yeah, please be mindful as well.